program today is how to pitch your ideas at a moment's notice. Right? Nice ideas. So I would like to welcome you, our speaker, Roy Terry.
Thanks, Jody. This sounds sort of far away from a mountaintop, so I'll try to avoid using it. I'm going to go live. I am honored to see so many folks here. This is delightful. I read that there were only 200 total admissions, and I thought, okay, say 200 divided by 5, what am I going to get? I don't know. It could be 12. Great. Cool. The topic I have to credit with a rather prominent Toastmaster named Elaine Lung. She came up with that topic when she invited me to have a similar event at her improv Toastmasters. So we'll have occasion to talk about improv a little bit, because the core of the work today, or what I'm going to invite you to participate in, is how to speak, not like table topics, not thinking on your feet, but how to speak conversationally, and try to understand how that can really work and empower you. But opening question is, what is Toastmasters good for? This is something we ought to think about now and then. What's Toastmasters good for? Why do we do this?
Communication.
Communication, so that's abstract. But what about in your life?
It makes you a better person.
Makes you a better person.
So it makes you able to introduce yourself to somebody.
Nice. Yeah, we're getting conversational. Thank you. Yes?
I can share my knowledge and my feelings with other people and get them outside of my head.
Good. Yeah, I was just complaining you do that yoga and you handle that beautifully. Thank you. Yes. Others?
Interview?
Yes.
Get practice and looking total strangers in the eye and saying, "Hi, my name is Christy."
That is an awesome thing. Yes. Thank you. Christy, my name's Roy.
Nice to meet you.
I raised this question. Yes, please.
Interviews?
Interviews. How does doing Toastmaster help in interviews?
Just being able to articulate who you are and the different points that you would bring to a company.
This is super. Thank you. What's your name?
Anna Marie.
Anna Marie. I think this is super because you're going straight to the point that I'm going to convey also, which is, and tell me if I'm wrong about this, Toastmasters, we focus on projects, right? Speech projects. And when you get into advanced projects, of course, there's a huge variety, some of which are very unconventional. They're like the cold call or I don't know, all kinds of sales stuff. It's a big variety. Humor. However, for those main projects that we focus on in the club, those are kind of the bread and butter of the club, those are standing up and saying stuff and no one says anything back. So how does doing that help you in an interview? What do you think?
It's probably not helpful because you're not interacting with the people that you're not asking questions of the people that you're interacting with in a speech, and they're not asking you questions and interacting with you during that speech, bringing forward those questions about the particular topic that you're presenting.
Well, that was a strong answer. I wasn't going to be as negative. Here's what I would put it. I think the speaking is marvelous because it gives you a sense of confidence. So when you walk to the front of the room, the panic attack, the mammalian threat of all those eyes is sort of, gets reduced and we gradually become comfortable. I'm not quite comfortable yet, but I'm working on it. What I'd like to say, the same topic that you replied on, is for conversational pitching, or promoting your ideas or your company or some activity, having spoken about it, you can speak about it and do the speech, but then when you actually do it, it's the speech you don't deliver. You don't deliver the speech, but you're prepped for it. So this is, has anyone else had the experience of speaking on a topic you're really enthusiastic about, and maybe you give the speech more than once, maybe you like it so much you go out and you go, speakers for stage time?
Yes.
And then you're in conversation, and how is the conversation at that point, if you want to talk about that topic?
It is not with the same excitement, and it kind of felt like lots of interest.
Lots of interest. Oh, we need to find you a different topic then.
Lots of interest, sorry.
Lots of interest. Lots of interest.
No, lots of interest.
We have this thing called interest, and it's going down, or is it going up?
Yes, it's going down.
Gee. So let's talk later. For me, I love that I've spoken about a particular topic because I have got some of those phrases and maybe stories or remarks or ways of relating to the audience queued up in my brain. So when I'm in conversation, that stuff pops out and I go, wow, I sound pretty smart. I'm not that smart, but I rehearsed. So I think that this conversational pitching idea is the speech you don't deliver, but you do practice it. Other comments about that, or questions about what we're trying to do today? Yes, sir.
What is most important is how does your speech or conversation perceived by the other person?
Indeed, I agree with that. He said, what's most important is how is your speech or conversation perceived by the other person?
It's not what you think, it's what the other person is getting the message.
This
on.
man is brilliant, thank you. Yes, the intention of your communication is not as important as the result, the outcome. And you should be observant to the outcome. And that's how conversation works, I think, successfully. Is that, we notice if the person is kind of dropping, interest is going away, they're kind of looking over at the hors d'oeuvre table. That would be a signal. Let's do a really quick exercise here with your neighbor. So I'm going to ask you to turn to your neighbor, and you guys will exchange. You'll each say the same thing, and then we'll have you say a different thing in a minute or two. So here's what I'd like you to say to your neighbor, and then hear your neighbor say it back to you, the exact same words, no freelancing. You ready? Everybody have a neighbor? Okay. I'm going to read this. It says, Toastmasters build speaking skills leading to greater success. So talk to your neighbor. So that was easily enough time to say that one sentence. How did it feel? That feel good? Yeah. You thought it was true? Yeah. And for the folks, when you were listening to the other person, how was it?
It's not memorable.
The what?
It's not memorable.
Not memorable. It isn't, and it's kind of formal, kind of business. Any other comments about the wording or the phrasing of that?
A tongue twister. It felt like a tongue twister.
So you're right. I didn't know that when I wrote it, but yeah.
There's just too many action words in there, so it was confusing. Speaking, leading, and greater.
You're saying my corporate speak isn't that good? I spent 10 seconds composing this. Okay, so I'm glad you don't like it, because I don't think it's especially good either. Try out the next one. So if you've ever wanted to be an actor or actress, the next one's going to be better for you, but it'll be the same thing with your neighbor. You can shake hands, smile, and I want you to deliver this message. Each of you take a turn. Say to your neighbor, Toastmasters saved my life and my career. It can do the same for you. Let's go.
Toastmasters saved my life and my career. That's much more strong. Nobody's like, oh, all right, I want that.
Yeah, we're going to zoom in. Yeah. Okay, come on back. I'm curious. How was that different? How was this one different?
The first one was a sermon. We did not elicit.
He said it was a sermon.
Elicit a response. The second one makes you start thinking, okay, I have a next question for you. How did it save your life?
Thank you. So this will relate to something we'll come to really soon called the T's, because we're going to structure out what I think is a conversational pitch. And thank you for sharing that. Other comments about how this was different, or maybe you liked it or didn't like it? Yeah.
Well, I thought the first one was informational.
Uh-huh.
This one was emotional.
Right. Yes. Yes. This was easy for me to compose because I actually believe this. Yes, sir.
The second one is not about me or about something. It is about you.
Mm-hmm. And when you heard that from the other person, did you maybe feel differently about it? It had more impact. Yes. Yes.
The first one was a commercial, and no one really wants more commercials in their life. The second one, you're saying, I have a story. You know, it saved my life. It saved my career. There's a story here. It could be part of your story.
Thank you, thank you. And how this relates to the topic is that I believe that first one is more like what we tend to think of as an elevator pitch, and we tend to practice because we want to have the buzzwords, we want to sound current, we want to sound professional, and so on. And conversationally, that can be okay, but probably not that big of a hook or attraction. Whereas something like this, or some variant of it, you kind of, oh, wow. This person's being vulnerable, they're saying something meaningful, and they're saying something relevant. Because, you know, maybe at a Toastmaster function or some kind of other networking event, people are looking for opportunities in their life, and you say something like this, they go, let's check that out. Thanks for doing this exercise. I want to sort of introduce a dichotomy, if you will. Back to the concept of the projects and the speeches and so on, and the concept of pitching. So this workshop has the title Pitching in it. Who is interested in pitching kind of just as a topic, or well, let's do it this way. Who has been asked to do an elevator pitch? Yeah, cool. 30, 40%. When you did the elevator pitch, how did you feel about that? Raise your hand if you liked it. If you thought, oh, my elevator pitch kills, or I'm faking it just to get you to participate because I don't like mine either. So that's an interesting thing. You've been asked and did really good. Who has prepped or practiced an elevator pitch? Say a 30-second. Cool, I think. So here's my claim. It's a little bit provocative. My claim is that this idea of the elevator pitch is a mistake. It is actually being foisted onto Toastmasters when we should know better. About Toastmasters speaking, raise your hand if you think it's a great idea to memorize your speech. Memorize it, just word for word, just get up there and deliver that speech. Dan, you don't count, you're an oddball.
Delivering is something else, you should know it by heart.
I should know it by heart. Well, we can talk about that. I think you should know the structure. My personal thing is not to memorize. So if you didn't raise your hand, if you think memorizing is a mistake, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with knowing it by heart?
If you forget something, you will get
You are just,
right
yeah.
there.
Right, because you program your mind into saying one word to follow another word, right? And I've had that happen. It's very, very rattling. Yes, sir.
In natural conversation, do you memorize all your conversations in life?
No, but sometimes I review them later. I know. That would be off-putting, don't you think? Yeah.
If you get interrupted, sometimes you don't know where to pick it up again. You see that in performances for musical instruments.
Yeah.
Sounds rehearsed, it doesn't sound real.
Sounds rehearsed because your mind is in that recall mode rather than being present and actually seeing the person.
It could sound stilted.
So stilted. Yeah. So I memorized nothing here today, so I won't be stilted. It might be bad, but. So the point of bringing up memorization is, here's, I claim, a provocative claim is that we Toastmasters are smarter, so to speak, or more savvy, and we should be sort of the masters of conversation. All of our pitch, we have table topics, and we have the practice of doing speeches. And if you practice, unlike Daniel here, if you practice at a structural level of your speech, and you memorize, you sort of work out really carefully, what are the modules, or what are the sections, what are the logical chunks, or the idea chunks of the speech, and what are the transitions, then you're kind of a speech commando. You can go in and just kind of start anywhere. That's how the conversational pitch would work. Well, let me give one more analogy before we sort of dive into content and start working, and we're going to have people up here. There is a process that we do about every 6 months around here because fortunately we live in nice environment and we have resources. And this thing is called going to the dentist. It's like, and they do all the stuff and you're like pretending it's okay, but socially it's just your mind is screaming like, let me out of here. My belief is that sometimes you're in a conversation at a networking event and so on, and you practice your elevator pitch, or you're just so motivated and you think, oh, this is the chance, this is the right person. And they somehow say something that's nearby your topic and you think, this is my chance, I'm gonna do my elevator pitch. And so you do it, and their experience is, I don't think that is. It's kind of like, they're like, oh, really? Nice. Oh, they brought out more hors d'oeuvres. It doesn't always happen. You could be asked to do your elevator pitch, which is so sweet, very cool. And obviously, if you're asked, you definitely want to do it, right? However, I think in most cases, the more sophisticated approach is not this one, it's not the dentist, so we'll leave the dentist chair here. I think of it as the dentist versus delectables. Now here's an experience that if you're lucky as an adult, you may have had. Someone feeding you. So have you ever been with someone who's really fun and a little romance maybe or something, and the next thing you know, they're giving you a French fry? Like, that was yummy. And they go on a little while and you get another French fry and you go, that was fun, I like this. Well, the upper scale is crab with dipped in butter. But I really want to make this strong contrast between the two things that happen orally. One of them is the and the other one is, oh, that was yummy. And this is the model I'm suggesting for a conversational pitch. And actually, probably if I was editing the copy, I would edit out the word pitch. It's more of a conversational connection. And we'll have a series of steps to do that. And we'll call out Craig Valentine, who has some really nice things. Who's heard Craig Valentine? Yeah, Craig Valentine is a world champion of public speaking. That was in '99. So he's come and done. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know when.
So he's one of my faves. He's my favorite Toastmaster world champion. And I will give it a little homage to him because this method is inspired by Craig. All right. Now, nonetheless, even though I've discounted the idea of a pitch, I want to give you a generic sort of structure of what I think a pitch is. My business is helping people construct and deliver a coherent pitch with transitions and covers the whole framework of whatever their business is, whether it's for a customer or whether it's for an investment. Who's been to a pitch contest? Or some kind of pitch event? How was that? Was it interesting? Yeah, we got more people.
Well, it was fun.
Yes? Were they coherent? Did you like them?
Some of them were good, some others were not.
Yeah.
Because in 4 to 5 minutes that they had to teach, some could get their point across, others didn't.
Yeah, so the ones who didn't, they should go to Toastmasters, among other things, yeah. I'm going to post a couple things. I'm going to post a big, sort of, the fancy version of what I would call a pitch, but I'm going to put also a simplified version. So this will be kind of for reference. This is how it's done in pitching contests and so on. And the idea of showing you this structure is not for you to deliver it in a conversation. The idea is that this is the speech you don't deliver. This is the speech you practice, you wrap your mind around, and then when you have a conversation, you find little ways to visit parts of this speech. And I hope I can explain as we go. Okay. Excuse me. Who's been pitching? Who wants to pitch something? I want an example to work with. Who would be like showing up at a number of events saying, people have to know what I do? Yes, sir. Tell me what it is.
Well, our company is about, if I may follow the...
Can you do it in 30 seconds? You can follow that if you like.
Yes, of course. Well, the problem we're trying to solve is the access to credit, to loans for the Hispanic community in the U.S. So the alternative that we're proposing is a lending club.
Okay, so we did this. He's gone here and here. Then what?
Exactly. The market is something 8 billion, 8.5.
Does the market care about you?
Well, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Good.
we do.
So it's popular.
It is.
Maybe. Cool.
And the business model is to find one lender and then one borrower through an algorithm that checks that everything is in place, and then they will be joined to have a relationship through the money.
So how's that going for you? When you meet people and you try to explain that, how's it go? Is it working?
The idea is somehow clear, but of course it's always about the execution. So right now we are dealing with the execution.
This is generic pitch.
Was that steak or was that staff?
Excuse me?
Steak or staff?
Thank you for asking. It's
S-T-E.
what's at stake and it's not spelled right. How do you
S-T-E.
spell it?
I think it's A-K-E.
S-T-A-K-E.
Yes.
I'm illiterate. Okay. So we're still having a problem. There's still some problem. There's still a solution.
Great presenter level.
There is still, so instead of marketing, I'm going to say popularity. Because in our title, we're saying pitch your ideas. Who has some sort of ideas about Toastmaster realm that you'd like to promote? A Toastmaster event or an innovation? What do you got, Daniel? Tell me.
Just Toastmasters in general, I think.
Yeah.
Toastmasters deserves a good elevator pitch instead of a standard one.
It deserves a conversational elevator pitch. Okay. So instead of business model, I'm going to say practicality. And then finally, next steps. So instead of an ask, we'll say next steps. And when we do practice here in a little while, I would say you could pick, promoting Toastmasters would be one of your things. You could promote your favorite activity. Whatever you do for fun, whether it's recreation or watch movies or eat out, you could promote that. Because I want you to promote something you're really, really familiar with. Or you could promote, like this gentleman did, an actual business. So here's where there's a collision of worlds. We have this model of a generic pitch, what I call a pitch. It's a sequence of abstract topics or abstract aspects of some enterprise or idea or promotion that you want that's designed to give a completely full-rounded, I'm ready to sign on result. So the person should feel like, I've learned everything I need to know about this, there's no risk, it sounds really good, and I want it. So that's the point of this sequence. That's just a generic version of this one. However, conversation is very different. Conversation is more like an improvisation. So, this is what I think is a better model for conversation. The French fry model. So this is the dentist. I got it in the wrong order. The wrong left or right. And I needed to add one more thing here on prep. There's yet an earlier part called rapport. Folks, who's familiar with the term rapport? Think of what would you say it means?
When you have good vibes for each other.
Good vibes. So no one's feeling defensive, no one's feeling put upon. How do you achieve rapport?
Smile, ask about the person.
Yeah, so we got in rapport pretty quickly, didn't we? Because we had the bell in common. Like,
Yes.
Who's ringing this bell? Why is she doing this? Is she going to ring it after we start? That was kind of fun, and we got rapport. Yeah, so rapport is a skill that some people have sort of worked into as they grew up and became mature, but other people, maybe they feel introverted, or they have a secret that they're nervous, that they're something that they're hiding, the fact maybe they're unemployed, or they're a serial killer who's on the run, something like that. All those things will interfere with rapport. And I'm putting that rapport there up in the prep as it's a life skill. And Toastmasters is great for that. And especially, I think, when you greet guests at Toastmasters, and you're just completely welcoming them, and you're not judging them, and however nervous they are, it's okay. And whatever ideas they have about speaking, and however weird they are, you're just like, oh yeah, well come on in, you'll love it. Rapport. The next part of prep. So this is all stuff that happens before you get anywhere. You're not at a networking meeting. The word structure here is referring to knowing your stuff. So when you come up here to practice in a little while, it's either promote Toastmasters, promote your favorite activity, or whatever the heck it is, or your business, one of those, or some project. But you need to know this stuff. This is the speech you haven't delivered, or you won't deliver at the meeting, but you'll have, in a sense, practice delivering it. And maybe you should do it at your club, and maybe do it at more than one club. And here's a tricky one for me. This is the word intention. I don't know if this has happened to you, but when I go to a networking event, or even like today, and I'll be after the event, I'll be chit-chatting, I'll just have fun. I won't say anybody about my business. I won't have sort of a plan or mindset of, I want to listen for people who need coaching or are interested in my coaching services. So this is a huge part of the prep. You could signal your brain, okay, I'm in the parking lot and parked. What am I at this meeting for? I'm going to network. I need someone to come up and help me demonstrate this. Who has something they want to do conversationally? It's really painless. Come on up. Hey! So choices of things to conversationally pitch. What do you want?
I would like to pitch yoga.
You like to pitch yoga? Okay, cool. Yoga's cool. They yell at you a lot. They use Sanskrit? Really? That's what I heard about
I
yoga.
don't know where you've been.
That's all the best. So let's step back and we'll just walk through this before we demo it. So we're prepped, right? We kind of got comfortable with the idea, I'm going to be a rapport, I'm going to be accepting, I'm going to be friendly, open up to people. I have practiced, I know my stuff, so she knows all about yoga. She's totally ready to go. And she has this intention, she knows she's going to be listening for cues in the conversation about, how's she going to convert me? Because I play football. Yoga? Yeah.
You seem a little stressed out.
The tight pants and stuff. So here's how it goes. And Craig Valentine's, this is kind of an homage to Craig Valentine, these little chunks here, because it has his advice about storytelling. He says you've got to, see how's it go? You tap, tease, and transport, I think is his little rule, which is delightful. So thanks to him for this kind of inspiration here. So as we do this conversation, the first thing is you'll notice I'm saying something that's sort of relevant to yoga. You'll notice it. I won't know that you noticed it, but you will. So you have this little mental process take off. And you'll say something that will kind of bring the subject up of new kinds of exercise or other ways of staying fit. And then you're going to tell me something about yoga that is a mystery but sounds really cool. Like maybe it's full of women my age, or I can get in trouble someday. And then you're going to tell me something substantial about it that comes from here. So you're migrating the conversation so you can go and visit this map of something cool about yoga, wherever it is, fits in a conversation. And it'll be like this. Every time you visit here, something good will happen that I'll go, oh, that's cool. And I'll go, oh, I like that. That's also interesting. And maybe down here. So whatever order it happens, doesn't matter. You're all supposed to be smiling. Then after you tell me that, you're going to see, did he like it? Is he still interested? Or should I just drop it? And then, go back. So what's your name again?
My name's Heather.
Heather, hi, I'm Roy.
Hi, Roy. Nice to meet you.
I hate these big events. They're just so impersonal. No one, you get to a certain age. But what brings you here?
Well, I noticed, Roy, that you were really outgoing and you came over and you sat down and talked to me and you got to know me and asked me, you built a rapport and you were sort of, I was guessing, looking to see who your audience is. And I was impressed by that because I felt like I belonged here and that you were maybe going to cater this specifically to me.
You're so sucking up to me. Well, that's delightful, thank you.
And you mentioned
do you need any consulting? I have a connectivity card.
Well, absolutely. You must be really busy. You have a day job, a consulting business, you're giving speeches,
Well,
you're
the
in
day job's fading
Toastmasters.
out.
You're probably an officer.
Yeah. You know what's hard for me, actually, is I don't have much energy because I can't stay fit. I don't have time.
Yeah, well, you
And
look very fit.
I used to run a lot, but my knee's bugging me.
Well, you look very fit.
Yeah. So did she?
Have you tried yoga?
Did she do that? Yeah, I think she did. Have I tried yoga? I know a few people who do it. It seems kind of interesting, but it's a little too weird, actually.
You mentioned Sanskrit and you mentioned it moves fast and you've got a friend that's been doing it. What did you think? What did you think about the class you took?
So what did I think about the class? Too many commands. So it's supposed to be relaxing and meditative. I mean, like 10 commands a minute, do this, and they're impossible to do. And then as soon as you think you're kind of getting to it, they change it. You have to do something else. I don't know if I do that.
Most of us here on the peninsula are so busy and overstimulated. We've got our iPhones, we've got our iPads, we've got our own business, we're working for somebody else.
So what is else besides yoga I can do? Is a yoga thing?
So many ways to
I've
practice
checked it.
yoga, and I would definitely say, I would recommend
What do you got?
that maybe you do the opposite of a busy exercise style of yoga, and maybe try something that's more restorative, where you can actually settle and decompress and de-stress. And
So
learn how
here's
to
the
be with
tease thing.
yourself.
Let me come in and take your role for a second. So the tease thing, no, you stay here. The tease thing might be more like, did you realize that there's a huge variety of yoga and that some of it is extremely relaxing at the same time great for your health? And I would go, No, I didn't know that. Interesting. There's other kinds? 'Cause, yeah.
And then I would tell.
Then, yeah, so give me some substance of meeting time or how it works or where do I sign up or anything.
Well, you live here on the peninsula. I can actually tell you about some of the yoga studios in the area that help busy people that have busy schedules.
Yeah.
And there's times where you can go and literally learn how to just sit and breathe with yourself without getting bored and without getting overstimulated.
How much is this going to cost?
How much is this going to cost?
Yeah.
Well, if money is your
Sure,
concern.
I look wealthy, but.
I've never had somebody ask me about money and de-stressing and having a happier life in the same sentence. But it's very affordable.
It's affordable, okay, so I led her right here and she kind of did something. What are the results though? I mean, people go, and it feels like it's maybe more of a social thing. I want to build muscle. I want tangible results. I want to feel healthier, better balanced.
I think of people like Steve Jobs that have been able to be extremely successful in the world, who
managed disease day! You're so friendly, it almost doesn't matter, right? You're boring. Say anything.
I shouldn't mention
So let's go back. Let's loop this thing. So we did a check. We're still good, right? We did a check. You don't go, once you've noticed it, you're in it. So then I might say something like, popularity is good for you. So
are we at?
We've been all over this place. Pretty good.
We're crossing these up. Okay.
Do you have any? Do you know anyone my age who's really done this, and what do they say? Because I drive by those. It's all young women and just
Well,
goofy.
let me ask you this: what does age mean to you? Would you like to be ageless?
In a lot of ways, yes.
I need to set you up with friends your age.
Set me
yoga
up for
instructor-
what?
Well, yoga instructors that are your age, or cater to groups that are teaching people that in this area that you'd be very
That
comfortable
sounds pretty
with.
doggone good, actually. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Do you have a card? You like a yoga person? You have a card for it?
Absolutely, I have a card,
Okay.
or you can put your name in my phone right now.
There you go. So I'll be looking. Can I find you
So
online?
how
Are you on
about,
LinkedIn?
how about I actually, you text me right now, here's my phone.
Okay.
And I'll
All right,
text you
all right,
back
all right.
as soon as I get home and talk to a couple friends and
Okay,
get
now.
you set up by Friday.
Wow. Okay.
Okay?
I love this kind of
So let me
conversation.
know which class works for you
Yeah.
when I give you the schedule between now and Friday.
Sweet. Okay. It's a deal. It's a deal. Wow. That was way too easy. That was not. I don't know if that was even learning. That was just too much fun. Is it possible? That was really too much fun. Who else would like to come and play? Or in fact, let me offer you to this way. Would you like to just try this out right with a neighbor?
Can
Or
we
maybe-
see one more though? But
Okay.
I don't want-
Sure.
I don't want to do it.
So yeah. Would you like to come and Anne Marie?
Yep.
Come on up. Thank you. Thanks for volunteering. Would you like to be the person giving French fries, or would you like to have French fries?
I'd like to pitch. I
Cool.
guess.
Cool. So I'm just the dude. And where are we? What kind of event is this?
Oh, event.
Or how did we meet? Are we at a grocery store or at a business meeting?
How about we meet at a gym?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so please don't imagine me in gym clothing. I just happen to be like this in the gym.
Okay.
So I've noticed, are you done with that machine? I'd kind of like to use that machine.
You're welcome to it.
Okay, thanks.
I was
Thanks.
going to offer you that this gym also has a rock climbing wall.
She's talking to me, that's weird. Oh, why? Actually, that's interesting, because I'll tell you something that's happened to me as I've gotten older, is that, so I live in a 2-story house, and I have to climb the ladder. The last time I climbed that ladder, I was really woozy.
Oh.
Yeah, so I thought something like rock climbing, if I don't die, would be good.
Oh, okay.
Do
Well.
you know about rock climbing stuff?
Yeah, I do. I know quite a bit about rock climbing. I've been doing it for about 13 years.
Okay, thanks, I'll just check out the rock climbing thing, and
Oh, well, that's great.
But maybe you give me a hint or something.
A hint.
How do I even get started?
How do you even get started? Well,
So
something.
I'm doing all of this I can. Did you want to do it on rock climbing, or is there something else? Where are we going?
No, I'd love to do it on rock climbing. I'm
Okay.
not sure exactly where we're headed with it.
So my suggestion is, so we're step out of roll for a second. My suggestion is, tell me something about rock climbing that I don't know that's interesting or intriguing.
Okay.
So what is it? I see this rock climbing stuff all over.
Yeah.
I don't quite get it. I mean, I think it would maybe improve my balance and strength, but still,
It would,
it's a
that's
lot
true.
of paraphernalia and,
There's a lot of equipment involved with it.
yeah,
You
and
go
all those
outdoors.
rules. I just don't like rules, like safety rules are really annoying.
So when you do it at a gym, you
Yeah.
know, there's much more of a safe environment to do it in.
So you don't have to like pound your
Equipment's already
fingers into
there.
the rock or anything. Is that
No,
correct?
no, that's definitely an outdoor thing.
So
Which
does
you may
people my age actually
actually.
take up this stuff?
Absolutely, absolutely.
What gets them enticed to do it?
Well, they look at other people that are doing it on the wall and they go, wow, that looks like fun to go, you know, from the
Okay, so
ground
we
up
got
to
here.
the
Looks
top
like
of the
fun.
wall. And, you know, they are working on their strengths, so they want to get more toned. And so the way that they can get more toned is by lifting.
Oh, I like that word tone for some reason. Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, you can get more toned and rather than lift weights, which is something I see that you're doing, you lift your own body.
Well, you know what? Here's, I gotta admit something. I only lift weights about every couple months because it's so boring.
Yeah, so this is something that would be able to get you out of.
So I'm giving her a chance to reactivate me on something that isn't boring.
Mhm.
So
So
what,
this would give you an opportunity to enjoy that kind of exercise and environment where you're doing problem solving.
so are you like a trainer for this?
You know, that's something that I've done in the past. I've helped people start from scratch and move up into, you know, more competent
I'm
climbers.
curious what sort of results you've seen for people, say, because it is intriguing. You know, the idea, oh, would it be fun to say, oh yeah, I've been doing some rock climbing. Yeah, I was up to Castle Rock the other day.
And relate yourself
No
to,
big deal.
you know, people that,
Yeah. So, I mean, do you know people who've gotten really, how fast can you progress? I guess I'm curious.
Well, it depends on how much effort you would like to put in. If you go a couple times a week, you can accelerate pretty quickly. There is one friend of mine that I started climbing with. He started in a beginner's class, and they taught him all of the
Yeah.
ropes, and they taught him.
So what I'm curious also is, do these people have any fun? I mean, do they go out and have pizza, or is it community? Because that's really important to me. You know, I just want to go exercise and go home.
Oh, you want to go exercise?
Yeah, I want a community,
Oh,
not just exercise and go home. I want to make friends and,
okay,
Do things.
okay, that's great. So this friend of mine, he's now a friend of
Yeah.
mine. You know, he started out in a beginner's class, and after the beginner's class, he needed someone to
Yeah.
climb with. And so we started climbing together, and now we go climb, and then we go out to dinner
Sweet.
afterwards and talk
Sweet.
about climbing.
Okay, we can do a little bit other kind of coaching. This is great. You're working hard. You're doing really well. Try this. Oh, that's great. I have a lot of friends who hang out together.
Mhm.
We organized, what do you call it, a rock climbing expedition?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
say that to me that way.
Okay.
Do some hand motion here.
All right.
Great.
That's great. That's awesome that you want to have a community. There's definitely a community here. You started working on this
Yeah.
kind of collaboration in the
Yeah.
gym, if you will. And then after you've gotten comfortable with each other, you get the equipment, ropes, so maybe somebody already has that. And then you go outdoors with it and you.
Okay, so here's a creepy, thank you. This is what I could feel it, but here's a creepy check. Then I say, Anne Marie, were you available as my coach?
Yes, I can spend some time working with you on this.
So now she has to internally check and see if she wants to leave or loop. Comments for both of these sessions that we did, most of these practices, did it have a
It's
sort of
helpful,
ring
it's
of?
helpful to see it
Thank you.
acted out.
Okay, yes, sir.
So she could exaggerate a little bit when you're saying you're looking for community. She could say, oh, I have a friend, hook up together.
Absolutely, because Toastmasters changed my life and can change your life too.
Right.
Absolutely, I agree. But seriously. Well, there is this curious, you know, modern psychology, we're learning more. Evincing a belief helps you accept the belief. Because sometimes we're shy of admitting what is true, and if we exaggerate, it helps us, it kind of expand our envelope. Who's been to a Patricia Fripp training? You've been there? Yeah. So just a brief aside, one of the things you'll hear her say almost every time is exaggerate to learn. So if there's a particular aspect, like you're being pretty placid,
Okay.
not super expressive.
Okay.
So the suggestion would be to exaggerate to a point of a little bit of mild discomfort and let it settle back down to a comfortable level. So you'll expand your envelope.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
How was this experience?
It was great. I mean,
Yeah.
I think you and I were interacting a lot. I think working with the audience is a great thing. So, yeah.
Cool. Okay, so folks, how about you guys form, would you like to do pairs or triples to practice this? I see triples. So please, could you form in triples and just everybody get to practice this. Here's my suggestion. You'll be in triples. There'll be the person doing the conversational pitch. There'll be the person receiving it, and there'll be the guide who will help them stay on track. So you need every person will need, every group will need those three things. So please stand up. Go ahead, just stand up. And we're almost. Thank you so much. Yes. Whoa, whoa,
All right. You already
I did it, so I'm not sure.
I'm going to observe you. No, I'm not
But I think
Going back to okay, so I might have a little hard time with the try. Okay. Hi, my name is really, I know. Okay, we're on Crystal Springs trip. And we're walking. I'm
There's something that you don't like about it?
Oh, wait, about yourself. And what's happened? We've been walking together. Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah, but I don't know about any of those pictures. It's in Mexico. I like it. Kind of. I wouldn't know if you're the
Give me something else to do. Sometimes you might want to see what's over there, but you don't Okay, why is it? Okay. So did you know, I mean, if you're walking, you can only see maybe in half an hour, you can probably only see 1 mile. But if you're cycling, you'll be able to see 1 mile. You can get lots of reasons. So,
decider. And say, hey, this is what you do.
Yeah, I think also like you jumped right into it. I think the work study at the beginning, and again, I know we have limited time. I wish I just said like build into it, but no.
Your excitement was infectious.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
In a good way.
This is unfortunate. We're out of time, and I know you probably didn't get to rotate and try all the roles. I hope that you found this really fun and that you'll consider the idea that having a conversation with a purpose, with an agenda, where you can go and visit important topics or important aspects of what you care about, but do it in a fun way instead of going to the dentist. I hope you find that a promising area and we'll keep investigating it and maybe try some of these approaches in your club. And of course, I'm happy to chat with you and follow up. I'm around the valley, I do lots of events, and I love talking to everyone about this kind of communication skill. So I think it's time for coming today. I'm sorry we ran out of time, and we're going to have evaluation forms. And I'm happy to hang around and chat as much as you like. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Roy. And in behalf of District 4, we would like to give a token of appreciation to our speaker today. Roy, you want to back here? Thank you for coming, and kindly turn in your evaluation to me. Thank you.
I'm going to go see some community theater. Have a good one.